Wow, that was no fun. Someone reported my video and I hadn't even started talking. So let's start this over. I'll wait for my lovely audience to come on again. I know that we had someone in here from Queensland, Australia, someone from Montreal. So I will wait for this room to fill up again. I had some music playing in the background. That could have been part of the reason that the video was stopped. But someone had to report the video like right away. Boy, I've got some haters out there. You're welcome. Thank you for coming back. Hello in Montreal. So I had titled the video, What We Can Learn from Georgia O'Keeffe, about Georgia O'Keeffe. She was an artist. And I'm going to get into that in a second. I'm a little shocked that they took my video down right away. Shocking. A little bit of government control there. We know how that works, don't we? All too familiar with it. So those of you who are tuning in, again, thank you. The first video was removed before I even began talking, so it must have been the title or the music that was playing in the background. And someone must have reported it. So thank you. Love to my haters that spend all your time watching. Love to you. I've got some beautiful copal burning, so let's just let that energy dissipate right now. Hello from Italy. How are you? Sending you love and blessings. Montreal is on one of my meridian lines. I was telling the person that said they were in Montreal, continue to come on, like the video. Thank you for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for telling me where you're tuning in from in the comments section. So I was telling them that, my meridians, we have Venus meridians, money meridians, all kinds of different meridians. One of my best meridian lines goes through Canada, through Montreal. One goes along, Costa Rica is really lucky for me. Australia, very lucky. Montreal, very lucky. One of the luckiest places is Maine. That is where, like, my ideal mate, they'll either be from Boston, Maine, New York, or their roots will be from there. Russia was also very strong with me. Hang on one second, you guys. So your meridian lines can tell you a lot about your astrology. And I just downloaded something to learn about that. And it's funny because I have shared with you guys over the past year, and right when I said this is when my video got deleted, so that's funny. Hi, baby. You're so handsome. I have shared with you that I have went through a long-standing hacking. This hacking has gone on. There's Lewis in the window. This hacking has gone on for several years, and it's someone I barely know. I was involved with him, but it was so brief that it's like shocking that this is still going on. Well, recently, oh, hi in Utah. Utah's not one of my states, so one of my best states is Colorado, New York, Boston. Maine is my best state, but one of the states was New Mexico, which I really love, so that's great. But California, where I live right now, I have a line that goes like directly through my house that is a Pluto line, which is not good. And Arizona is past life karma. It's that Saturn line. So hello in Michigan. I'm from Ohio originally. So it's funny because I've been wanting to move, and a move for me is not just a move. It's like a $20,000 to $30,000 move. It's not like I can just be like, hey, see ya. Gonna pack a suitcase and the dogs and a handbag and go. No. Got the whole raw food kitchen, the infrared sauna, the grow boxes. I have everything. So it's not an easy move. I've lived here 7 years. I lived in a home in Ohio for 9 years, and I lived briefly in a home in Del Mar before that. Well, this cyber stalking, and this is why I want to talk about Georgia O'Keeffe and what a wonderful light she is for me. She's deceased, of course. She was a well-known artist who actually lived in New York and in New Mexico. But some of her quotes are spectacular. And I don't like to copy quotes, other people's quotes, because so many people copy my work. But her stuff is amazing. So she's one of my favorite people. And I can always tell when someone takes something of hers and chops it up. Texas is one of my good places too, but it's like Dallas, not Houston. It's very grid. It was like San Antonio, Dallas. Those were great places for me as well. At any rate, I've chosen where I'm going to go. So recently in this hacking saga, I realized that this person had went in and deleted a lot of my work off my blog. And they did this by causing 404 errors to occur in certain blog posts, so they hid code. So there's a backdoor way anyone can get into the back of a website, and if they've ever had access to anything of yours. So that 404, those 404 errors have done a lot of damage to my SEO. So I've got a company in New York working for me. I have another company working for me. I have someone out of the country working for me, and I've got legal people that I've, can't say too much about. But what happened was a lot of the posts that were deleted, when you're a writer, that is heart-wrenching. So it has brought me to a place of really having to, I've had work published in Huffington Post. I've had work published in Your Tango. I've had work published all over. So when things are torn down off your website that you have put your love and energy into and have you pulling up at the top of like Yahoo and Bing and everything, and that's torn down, that's painful. And what we noticed was a pattern. And we've got, stuff is so set up now that no one can, we've got, stuff hidden. Like it's, no one can, Anyway, so a lot of the things that they tore down were of a beautiful relationship I had with someone for like 5 years. We had a beautiful relationship. We lived like bi-coastally, and stunning photos, just a lot of, there was a lot of love, and like within every relationship, there was a lot of, trauma we were dealing with and working through separately and together as well. And this jealous, hateful person who is probably in a relationship, I haven't looked recently, but probably in a relationship, I know he was, has torn down so much of it. And it was very targeted. And so I really want to first thank that person, because that actually got me to have a beautiful conversation with the man that I was in that relationship with the other day, because I reached out and I said, look, this is what's going on. I just want to let you know, like all those beautiful photos of us, I know where they're at other places, on my social media and everything. And we've tracked all that, but there seems to be a pattern where our beautiful love was like, just someone went in and deleted it out of jealousy. And, of course he was like, oh, I didn't have anything to do with that, and I'm sorry that someone's, but it was nice to actually have that release of energy, because I've never not gotten along with anyone I've broken up with, ever. like ever, or that's broken up with me, like never gotten along. Like I've always gotten along with everyone that I've parted ways with. But here's what I'm noticing, and this has to go back to the meridian chart, and then I want to get into the Georgia O'Keeffe stuff. When I had a woman named Kim do the meridian chart on my behalf the other day, and we had an hour-long conversation, and then my friend Carol really went over the chart with me. And this woman, Kim, said, you know, Andrea, and I'm just using myself as an example, she said, with your placements being very Venusian is beauty and aesthetics and things like that. Taurus in the South Node, that is very Venusian. It means you come out of the womb as like a little goddess, basically. And having such heavy Scorpio and Pisces placements and Libra placements in my chart, Scorpio is very, very, very sexy, you know, and that's my moon, my rising, my north node. And Pisces is very loving and nurturing energy. And Libra, I'm a Libra rising in Vedic astrology. Excuse me. So sorry about that, you guys. They're dogs. So that's it's a lot of Venusian energy. The girl that did my meridian chart, because meridians aren't something that I was on the up and up with yet, but I'm learning about it. She said, your biggest obstacle, your biggest lesson in life will be setting very crystal clear boundaries with men. Crystal clear. And women, because you get a lot of women that are, you know, just jealous. She said, when I say crystal clear boundaries, I mean, no, I am not interested in you. Or, yes, we can be friends, but I have zero desire to date you. Things like that. Crystal clear boundaries. And it's funny because right after that happened, there was a situation with a very dear friend that I had known for 9 years that had always kind of tried to come in my life when I was going through a breakup. He saw me online and what have you, and I met him after a breakup years ago, and then he came in again when I went through a breakup, but had a lot of issues around that he had built up in his mind, in his head, and I don't know, about like maybe what we would be or what have you. So, and that's actually not even the stalker. The stalker is someone I knew for like a minute, that I had a minute-long relationship with, that just didn't understand how to process his own feelings. When the breakup happened, I processed mine. I went through like a year of processing, but he didn't understand how to do that and just has screwed me over on the internet ever since, and always said he would do that. But that's okay. That's okay, because that, you know, things come to a head in a very, yeah, things are about to come to a head. So anyway, so it was interesting that she said that about boundaries. It was very, very, very interesting. And two things entered my mind, and one was Georgia O'Keeffe, and I'm going to tell you why. And the second, and if you don't know Georgia O'Keeffe, you can Google her and learn all about her. The second was, well, I really need to thank this person, because, you know, I may not recover that work. I still have the beautiful pictures. I still have the beautiful memories. It's going to take a long time to recover my SEO back to where it is, because he continues to do these childish, that's what, you know, people who smoke pot when they're really young and it's like they never grow up past the age of like 12. It's really, yeah. So it's going to take a while to recover that and to recover my name. This person actually had over 8,000 pornographic backlinks created to my work, and now the 404 airs. So it's just such bullshit, like interjecting code or having someone interject code in certain places in your website so you get a bunch of errors. So, I'm very familiar with this person's antics, and oh, look at that. We have Aries. Interesting. But what I'm not fond of is that when you're an artist, your work is of your own creative nature. And when someone tries to first steal it, then tear it down, that's that's almost like waging war on someone, right? So when I had this conversation with her the other day, she goes, very strong boundaries. I said, yeah, I feel like I've never had the ability to put those strong boundaries up except when I was with my partner of 5 years. He was very strong in that way. So I feel like I almost need to thank this hacker because he brought us back together in a very loving way the other day, where we started communicating again. And even though he probably had a hand in, the emails or what have you that broke us up to begin with, I should thank him because we had the most beautiful exchange of energy and communication that I think we had in a long time. And so that's one positive, that's karma. But another positive is that this really got me, as this has been going on, and this person got worse over the years and really came after me hard this year. Again, this is not someone I even ever even thought about. I had to actually look up how to spell his last name. That's when I was giving, his name over to authorities. That's how much I had thought of him. I had to actually Google how to spell his last name. So it brought me to this place of studying these women who had to fight for their own creativity. And I'm not a feminist, but I'll tell you what, I sure am kind of becoming one. So Georgia O'Keeffe, she was an artist. She's most well known for her. Lewis, I'm going to feed you in a minute. Come here, hang on. What do you want? Stinky butt? Okay. But she's most famous for her paintings of floral, like flowers, but they were abstract paintings. So she was one of the first painters that actually would take a flower and blow it up or highlight it to make it even, to show more of its beauty, right? So I kind of feel like I kind of owe this person something because he kind of blew me up into what he thought would, oh yeah, let's get her mad, let's ruffle her feathers. But I have become so balanced in myself throughout this process and so strong. And I have learned so much by a wonderful person in authority that is teaching me things. And also these SEO guys I'm working with now, that I feel really empowered and really grateful that someone who kind of schemed his way into my life to begin with and had no purpose being there, and just a really lower energy, lower vibrational person, forced his way in again through means of just illegal activity, just, trying to tear down my stuff. So I was looking at Georgia O'Keeffe, and her story is she became an artist and she was going to art school in New York, and she had a lot of teachers, quite a few males actually, who they dumbed down, they watered down her artistry. And so I want to teach you guys something, and I'm sure the women will agree with me. Anytime you try to drum down a woman's creativity, what happens is, oh, who's out there now? Hang on. What is out there? Is there an animal out there? Interesting. I'll have to go check that out afterwards. I'm scared shitless of little critters though. So anytime you have someone trying to put your creativity in a, let's just do this. Let's just do a box, right? A box. You will turn your back to them. This card fell out, so I thought it was appropriate. And you will turn your back to them in such a way that they almost become repulsive to you. So with Georgia O'Keeffe, she was going to school in New York City, and her mother had noticed her wanting to be an artist from a very young age and encouraged her, much like my mom did with my writing. And she was going to school in New York City, and these teachers were like, no, that's too different. That's too abstract. That's too this. Well, one of her friends showed her work to this, I think his name was Edgar or Edward. And Edward would later become her husband, but he saw the beauty in her quirky, weird, different artistry. And he held a event for her in New York City to display her art. So he like rolled out the red carpet for her art that everyone else wanted to do this to. They wanted to shut her art down, right? Because she was probably a mystery to them, the moon. It's funny how these cards just fall out like that, right? I don't even need tools anymore, you guys. I'm just, look. So whenever someone tries to drum down your creativity, you're not going to want to work with them. And what they do that for one of two reasons. Number one, well, look at this. You're either Eight of Cups, emotionally walking away from them. Number two, you've become the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress energy, meaning you're looking good, smelling good, and your creativity is making you money. Number three, the Sun, you are shining a light on their bullshit. Or number four, where's that moon card? You are just an absolute freaking mystery to them. Or it's a mystery to where your money comes from, what have you. So usually when that happens, that's when this kind of crap comes out, right? The swords, right? Air energy, but it can be any sign. And the swords come out when a woman is in full expression of her not only feminine power, but also her creativity. So if a woman is beautiful, if a woman is making her own money, if a woman is paying all her own bills, if a woman doesn't need someone, we all need someone, right? You'll have these people coming in like this, but the wheel has turned in her favor, so she doesn't want that. She's just all up in her creativity. I know when I write, I can get lost for hours. Don't ever interrupt a woman who writes. Oh my God. It's like, just go do whatever you want. I'll see you in 6 hours. So the fact that someone took it upon themselves to go in and say, you know what? I'm going to delete her work. First, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to back it up. And then I'm going to delete it. I'm going to 404 error it. I'm going to fuck it up. For someone to do that is at first, it's very shocking. Then it's depressing, but then it's empowering. It's empowering enough to make me recognize why no one could understand why I fell in love with someone that I argued with so much. This is my 5-year relationship. And that we were so polar opposite. You know why I fell in love with him? Because not once did he try to put me in a box and close that lid. Not once. Not once. And I told him that the other day. I said, I really am grateful that you did not try to be a tyrant with me. I'm so grateful. He was so proud of me, taking me to meet his family. And when my Huffington Post article came out, I've had 2 come out. When my first one came out, we were in Las Vegas and wanting me to read it for him when we were sitting at this table in this suite he got for us. Like, he was so empowering to me. Now, you can't fake empowerment. Faking someone who is empowering is someone who puts a bunch of crap on social media, but then they're controlling everything that moves behind closed doors. That's not real. That's not love. Love is what we had. And now I know why that was so difficult. And I'm talking about my partner of 5 years, the partner that I had, that someone came in and decided to delete all my beautiful writing and my poetry, Hello in Oklahoma City, and all my stuff that had to do with him and I. That's jealousy. That's cruelty. That's unkindness. And that's enough to validate everything I knew that this person was from the moment I met him. And that's why that little mess only lasted a few months, because that was a lower energy, beneath me, bottom of the shoe type stuff. So Georgia O'Keeffe, her husband, Edgar or Edward, I forget, he was kind of a quirky guy himself. He saw her work and displayed it beautifully. And they ended up marrying, and she ended up moving to New Mexico. She ended up going blind, and she still painted, even when she was blind, with the help of an assistant. She said she would still see what she wanted to create in her mind. It brings tears to my eyes because she's so poetic. She should have been a writer. She said she would see what she wanted to create in her mind, and she would tell this assistant. But one of her greatest things she ever said was this. She said, all my life I have been afraid, something to this effect, but that has never stopped me from doing anything. All my life I've been fearful, but it has never stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. So this caused a bit of fear in me. The fact that someone could like attempt to delete me off the, you know, all my beautiful work and everything I've done in my livelihood, someone would feel that they had the right to come in and do that. And if they didn't expect any backlash from that, oh, but it will never hold me back from doing what I'm meant to do. And you can delete every beautiful photo of a beautiful love story, but you won't delete those memories. The poetry I wrote, that's in my mind. That's in my heart. So what happened with her is he empowered her in a way where her paintings became so famous because he didn't box her in. He didn't put her down. And so I want to thank of course, we're just not going to say anyone's name yet, but I want to thank this person for reminding me of the love I shared with another human being, because I got to go fish those out today, all those missing posts, missing blog posts, things I had shared across my social media. And my heart is so filled with love, remembering that love and connecting with that person yesterday and the day before, and actually being able to say, you know what, thank you for not boxing me in and not trying to control me. Thank you. And to be able to say, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. Because when you can really see why things happen from an above perspective, and even like seeing this person at a distance, like thinking, well, okay, I remember when that happened, I processed my pain for a while, and that was like a short little whatever. And that person never processed their pain. This is someone, the one who did all the damage on the internet. It's beautiful to have a very forgiving heart and be able to see things from an above perspective. Now, a forgiving heart doesn't mean that I won't prosecute this person. No, that's not what that means. A forgiving heart means I can see things from an above perspective now. Yeah, don't mess with people's livelihood. Don't mess with their work, especially if someone has a lot of Scorpio in their chart, specifically a moon and rising. A moon and Scorpio person. See, I'm grateful because Mars and Scorpio people will try to seek revenge on you 8 years later. They're crazy. They're nuts. Like schizo. It's really hard to deal with. But a moon in Scorpio person, they'll sit back and they'll take it and they'll take it and they'll take it, and they'll file things and they'll keep track of things and they'll screenshot things and they'll write things down and they'll keep a timeline and they'll screenshot IP addresses and VPNs and all that stuff, and then they'll get it all organized, and they'll hand it to someone that can do something about it. So just don't do that. Don't screw with people like that. Just don't do it, right? And as far as Georgia O'Keeffe goes, I'm not real fond of her later paintings when she moved to, I like some of her paintings when she was in New York. She used to paint things that she could see from her window. I love her flower paintings. Not real crazy about her paintings of the mountain, but she once said that God gave her this mountain, that this mountain was hers. God gave it to her because he said to her one day, if she painted this mountain enough, this is in Santa Fe, New Mexico, then it would be hers. It would be her mountain. And I just found a beautiful place in New Mexico that was absolutely gorgeous. I love the Indian culture there. I love that they're into the roots like I am, the herbs. And I can't think of a better place to have that money, fame, meridian line on. So it's just one of several. But yeah, I love you guys. I love you so much, and thank you for listening to this today. I'm going to go back to putting a lot of energy into fixing a problem that someone else created for me to fix. A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy has been put into putting my stuff back together again. And that's okay. You know what? That's okay. Karma works in a really interesting way. And for me, this like ongoing, someone hacking me over and over and over again, it's brought me to such a beautiful place of peace and balance that like nothing can rock me. Like, oh, someone slammed into the side of my car? Okay. Oh, the house burnt down or the dog's okay? Okay. Nothing can rock me. Oh, everything was deleted? Okay, let's rebuild, let's rewrite, let's do this. Thank you. Wow. From the bottom of my heart, I just feel free from judgment and free to love and free to be who I am meant to be. Light and darkness. Not a fake facade of, oh, light and love and yada, yada. But like, yeah, my life is beautiful. Most people will never get to be blessed with the beauty that's in my life. The animals, the family, the beautiful loves I've had in my life, the aesthetic beauty around me, the health, the consciousness. But man, I would be so happy under a lemon tree. I'm serious. Just put a juicer somewhere. Make sure my dogs are with me. So happy. Can I take the big salt lamp? Thank you to whoever this was, man. God, I don't think I have ever felt more whole, more healthy, more sound in myself, in my business, with my clients, or in my life. Thank you. And thank you to both the women that helped me with the Meridian read, Kim in Laguna Beach, who I think I'm going to have on here, and Carol, my Virgo friend, who helped explain everything to me and screenshot it to me. Thank you to Kim for telling me that my biggest lesson in life has to be to set up boundaries, specifically with men, to let them know right up front, look, there's not going to be anything further here. Or look, we broke up 8 years ago. You need to get out of my business for real. You need to leave me alone. You need to please focus on whatever you got, whatever cluster screw you got going on. Please leave me alone, please. Like clear boundaries, or I see what you're doing, and if you don't stop, I'm going to prosecute. You know, just like clear boundaries, right? Very crystal clear. You know, there's a whole separate division that the FBI has for cyber stalkers. Did you know that? It's a whole separate website you can go and file with them. Whole separate website, whole separate division that deals with this type of thing. I'm just saying. And yeah, it's a thing. And it's getting very hard for people to hide like that. And then remember, once there's more than one person, so like say someone does this and they tell like their brother or their girlfriend or their friend, then that makes it like even worse, right? Because then there's a lot of people involved. Just saying, don't mess with people's livelihood and their business, please. But on the flip side, boy, does it make you strong. And boy, does it make you really balanced. I just worked with a guy out of a different country today that is doing work for me. He just made these really beautiful buttons he put up for me. My beautiful, like there's so many like updates he did on the site. And I'm so happy with it. And even though there's probably 170 missing pieces of my work, it brought me back with someone who I needed to heal with. My partner of 4.5, 5 years. And that was a lovely, just a really healing vibration that needed to happen. So man, I'm just full of sunshine, rainbows, and magical energy today. Magical. And a side note, just love to my women, love to, I love to support you guys out there. If you guys are going through anything like this, I recorded a hour-long video of the steps I took to really, the steps I had to go through to really like put everything in a file of what had gone on to report this. And it's in that Manifesting Members program. That Manifesting Members program is at thedetoxintuitive.com. I'll put the link below. And it's a membership program for $197 a month. I have a sound healing video in there. I have a hour-long video of what you should do for your zodiac sign during the lockdown. And there's several other videos back there. So I'm just going to keep adding and adding and adding and adding. So you guys, thanks so much. I love each and every one of you. Readings will open up over the next week. And I am booked for health coaching. I took on 2 clients. I may take one more. So if you're not signed up for my newsletter, sign up at AndreaCox.com. Be well. Bye-bye.